I am your host, Andrew Gatton, and today we have a fantastic race lined up for everybody. It's going to be a very, very close one today. We are in Austria for a fantastic race. I literally just done all the intro without realising that we weren't on air, which is my fault. Had a little bit of a rough evening, so hopefully all this has been sorted out and we're ready to go. So, once again, I'm your host Andrew, and I'll be in the chat all evening with you guys, watching the race and commentating the best I can. I'm still waiting for the players to join, so I don't know if that's just going to be a server issue or is it just on my end. If you guys have any questions about what's going on in the chat, just feel free to drop one down below and I'll be there to answer your questions. Unfortunately, it's just myself tonight, so it'll be nice to see everybody chatting in the chat. AC Oakhill has left the session. We've got a bit of an issue there, boys. I think we're just running into a few different problems. I'm going to run through again what's going on with the team allocations. I just ran through them all without realising I wasn't live, which is my fault. This is the second time we've actually been to Austria in the Styrian Grand Prix setup, so this is going to be fantastic to see. So I'm just going to read out the teams. We have the Pit Stop Boys with IRL Mats 21 and Jamie 29X. Then we have Hotshot Racing with DJ Danny and Fairmoto. We also have Shark Nipples F1 with James F1 ATC and Sir Sharks. And we're actually already started in the race, so I'm going to just quickly sort out the spectator cameras. We'll just stick to Fairmoto at the moment, who is getting the tyres warmed up. We also have Only Fools and Horsepower with Light Shock 16 and Don Crouchy. We also have W7 with Stallion W7 and Raza 410. We also have Viper Motorsports with Botch Gerbil and the Josh 32. We then have Brabham Racing and AC Oakhill St Johnston 02 as well. We also have Wales F1 and Actom 1802. We also have M Watson 4236. We have Pain in the Rain with Kingly Diagram, last week's winner. And we have BMG Sully alongside him. And then we have, last but not least, Coconut Water F1 with Ice Cream 05 and El Senado as their reserve from last week's setup as well. So we're just on board with Fairmoto at the moment. And we'll just have a look at IRL Mats, who's just sitting behind him. He's going to be in second position for this start. It's going to be a fantastic race as we're looking around the track at this moment. I'll just sit in the TV pod and just watch as the cars all bunch up from behind, so it's going to be good. Just going to make sure that we have all the telemetry set up. So we've got the gaps, we need positions changed, we need lap data enabled, and we need the full track map up for everybody. Tire, there we go. Now we're just waiting for everybody to form up on the grid. You can hear the crowd warming themselves up to this fantastic Grand Prix. Looks like a fantastic day in the Styrian Alps. It's going to be a great race, and let's see who's going down. Five red lights, and away we go. Fantastic start there from Fairmoto, who gets off the line really quickly in that Alpha Tauri. He's going to take the first position. IRL Mats just holding off a fight from the Josh and AC Oakhill there as well. Coming up the hill, it's going to be a very, very close battle. We've got Keiran 11, who is racing tonight. That wasn't known, but he is racing. He's sitting at the back of the grid, trying to get through, but that Ferrari blocking him. Just watching the Josh, who's running now in second place. He's going to take the inside line around turn 4. Very nicely done there. IRL Mats not having any leg to stand on there. No defense whatsoever. He couldn't do nothing. Walking down the grid again to Botch Gerbil, and we'll just miss. He is in the Alfa Romeo. And it looks like we've had Jamie 29 spin out up the grid there. That is very much a shame from him. We'll just spectate as he's coming down. Doesn't look like he's got any damage as such, but Fairmoto setting the fastest lap, obviously. And it looks like El Senedo as well, having a little bit of a spin out there. It looks to be. Nice driving there to avoid all that battle. A lot of the drivers actually taking a little bit of a strategy to get away from that. We're still on board actually with Jamie29, who's supposedly running first, but we won't say anything about that. El Senedo does take the pit. I'm not too sure if he's actually picked up damage there. We'll jump on board again with Sir Sharks. Let's see what he's going up to at the moment. In the TV pod, we have AC Oakhill, who's actually out of the race, which is very much a shame for him. He was in good contention for today, and that Red Bull, Keiran now driving through him to get by. Very nice driving, both the supposedly invisible drivers. Putting quite a lot of pressure on those tyres as you come round that last few corners. So that's going to really wear down the tyres for today's race. Kingly Diagram, obviously last week's winner, he's now been put in the Renault after that fantastic drive in the Racing Point. He's now in a DRS train with DJ Danny and all the other drivers. We'll just stick in this pack for a wee while and see if we've got any action. Stallion W7 from the W7 team is not having the best of starts. He's not been able to keep up there with Kingly Diagram. Kingly Diagram also being a very experienced driver with the gamepad, so he is very good when it comes to driving around these tracks. We've had Ice Cream go in for a pit stop, it seems. He's went on fresh softs, so that could be a strategy from him to gain a little bit more traction going around these corners, but those tyres will wear fast. We can actually see Kingly Diagram has got a good run down on DJ Danny, but DJ Danny has the inside line here, but nothing he could do. He almost cut him off, but nothing in the rulebook says that you can't run somebody off the track at that point. Very good driving from Kingly Diagram. He's actually trying to break the toe from DJ Danny, which is very well done. Now we're back on this fantastic DRS train as we see all the cars come flying up the hill. What a fantastic view we have going up here. Just going to actually see if I have any sort of adjustments that I can make to turn off the driver tags. There we go. There we go. Now we can see the Josh32 picking up a 3-second time penalty from race control, and he is running in second place at this moment in time. It'd be quite interesting to see where he's actually put himself, whether it's just off-track limits there or not. But both, it seems, Fairmoto and the Josh32 being in good contention at the start of this race to go on to win it at the end. But it's all about your strategy. Whoever's got the best strategy will be on top here at the Austrian ring. Who doesn't love the Red Bull ring? It's going to be fantastic. It seems that the Josh is really struggling with his right front tyre. He's locking up quite a lot, so he'll be gaining quite a lot of tyre wear, so he could be putting himself out of the running here by doing so. That Fairmoto still holding off the Josh 32. Very, very good defense from him. We're going to go back down the grid to watch Lightshock, who was doing very well last week as well. He's been put in the Alpha Tauri again to make sure that he's staying in that position. And we actually see IRL Matt lock up a bit there. Not so handy from him. Just watching the track here, as it does seem that Keiran is running in 15th position. He's just coming up to turn 4, running into sector 2 now. Jamie29X, after having that incident on the first 2 laps, is actually starting to gain positions again. He's up in 14th place. Fantastic work from him. El Senedo, after that first pit stop, he's now actually on the hards. He is actually going to do what Raza did the week before, Raza being put in a different car for this week, but it doesn't seem that I am seeing. Yeah, he's been put in the Renault after last week's performance. He was running in 3rd until lap 23 at Monza, and his tyres popped because he ran the hard strategy. Very, very well done from him, though. We're just on board again still with Lightshock 16, who's running in 4th position. Very good driving from him. Just looking behind. We'll just see who's all in this train of cars. Quite a distance between all the drivers. That Williams car of James F1 ETC, very, very strong on the brakes there. I think he was a bit too confident and had to really lock up. Just again to remind viewers that I am in the chat, so if you have anything to say, feel free to jump in and say hello. And that is Drive on Driver saying good luck to everybody in the teams, and for Ice Cream, Keiran and Josh. Obviously Keiran missing last week's race, but it's nice to see him back in again for tonight. Fantastic racing. Don't worry about it, Noodle. Don't worry about it. These things happen. I'll definitely keep you a little bit more informed next time. Oh, we had a spin out there. Just watch that. As Kingly Diagram just loses out of T1. And he is out of this race. It looks like he's actually taken the front wheel off the car, which is quite a shame, to say the least. Kingly Diagram has unfortunately left. That's very much a shame from him. He done so well last week to win the race, and to have that happen to him, it's just such a shame. Unfortunate for you, man. We'll see what you can see. I can definitely try and invite him. I don't know if I actually have him added. I will search up his name though. Give me a second to just keep everybody in the loop. Oh, it's been a hell of a night, chat. It's been a hell of a night. Just to make sure that's I don't know if that's how you spell his name or not. But I hope everybody's doing good. Say hello in chat if you need to say anything. I'm always willing to have a conversation. I think it's ACOKill04, that's his name, and we will invite him to the game. He's actually offline, so I'll add him as a friend and see if that'll help. But that's fair enough. Back into the racing again. We were still on board there with Bots Gerbil. I do apologise about that. I needed to get everybody in to the lobby. I'm going to see if I can invite him. I can't actually invite him to the game, guys, which is a bit unfortunate. I think it's because he says he's offline, so if you're in the chat, ACOKill, make sure you're set to online so I can get you in. That's Keiran11 setting a 106.69, very 669, very, very strong time from him. We'll see if we can jump in on board with the, that's not who we wanted to be with, but we will go to Sharks, who is running kind of in the back end of the grid at the moment. He's running in 12th position. A lot of the drivers running the soft strategy, but he is actually elected to use mediums. A lot, actually, Raza running the hard. I don't know if he's gonna try and switch his strategy from last week of probably going on to softs at the last few laps, which is actually not a bad time. I'll get you in, buddy, don't worry. Not too sure what actually happened that way. So I'm gonna still saying I can't invite you to the game. I don't know. That's really, yeah. Invite to a game won't let me, man. I'm sorry. There's not much I can do about that, unfortunately. We're just on board now with Sir Sharks again, who is... That's not Sir Sharks, but okay, the game's decided it's going to do its own thing, which is fair enough. We'll go on board with Jamie29X, who has had a stormer through the grid. He's actually up in 10th now in the first 10 laps after having that spin. Yeah, man, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on today. It might be just because I'm broadcasting. We're watching here He's chasing down Raza here, Raza 410, whose tyres will be just lighting up. Not sure how Jamie29X's softs are wearing, if he's got a lot of wear on them. I'm sure he does at this point, but we will see. It's a little mini battle going on for 9th position, it seems, but yeah, I mean, DJ Danny being a whole solid 6 seconds ahead of Raza, which is unfortunate for those two who are unfortunately fighting for nothing at this moment in time. But we'll see who's going where. A very nice camera there at the bottom of the hill. Really love that camera. But Jamie29X, he's sitting on 108. I mean, that's still a competitive time, but his tyres, you can see, are starting to wear a tiny bit too much for anybody's likely. The pit lane should be open around about now, so quite a few of the drivers are going to be looking to get their pit strategy out of the way and on the go. A little bit of a bum shuffle there onto Raza as Jamie29X accidentally lifts off the brake. I'm going to take it as an accident, but we're going to go on board with DJ Danny, who's kind of in a race of his own at the moment. He's almost just setting hot lap after hot lap. You see how red his brakes are going. He's trying to chase down Stallion, who's in front of him, and it's just, you know, in that Williams, he's going to be doing a lot better in a slipstream rather than being in the position he's in now. But he is doing so well to keep his speed up through these corners. Very, very good drive from him. We'll see what time he posts. It's still going to be a competitive time on those mediums. 108.9. It's still not too bad. Two-stop strategy now open. So if people are going to pit for two-stop, they'll be doing it now. I very much doubt that people will be pitting on those two-stops. So as this track is better when you do it on a one. Actually, this is a nice camera angle, but it just doesn't do the racing justice, I will say, in the helicopter, especially from that sort of angle. But we're looking at the Williams teammate, not necessarily his real-life teammate, James F1 ETC, actually going down to turn 4 now, and he is chasing down Stallion very, very well right now. Very good drive. We'll see where he positions himself on the track, if he has to defend or attack. But the two Williams running really, really strongly in the middle of the pack right now. They are sitting slap bang in the middle, doing very well here right now. Very strong race from both of them. We'll go back to the front of the pack and we will look at Lightshock 16, who is really starting to have this DRS train up in front. Obviously, all these guys are within roughly a second of each other, so they're going to be gaining some serious amount of time on everybody else. And you can see the difference between 6th and 10th. It's really, really strange to see the difference between that and how much DRS actually means to these drivers. We're just watching now as Lightshock is coming down to turn 4 behind the coloured McLaren, who doesn't love a bit of papaya in their life, of IRL Mats, who's sitting in 3rd position at this moment in time. The Josh 32 being in 2nd, so he is looking to gain a podium here. But a lot of the drivers starting to pick up penalties, as we see, obviously more for track limits than anything else. This track is an absolute pain for its track limits, as you see a lot of drivers going wide coming round there in the second last corner and the last corner as well. Sir Sharks unfortunately left the session, so I'm not too sure what's going on there, if he's crashed, and Raza as well. This is not going too good for everybody tonight, so I'm going to have to try and see if I can get these guys in the session. This is where everybody needs to have a second person to do all this with you. I'm going to just have a look and see if I can get Raza 410 in first. Yeah, it's not letting me invite him to the party, but I will add him as a friend and we'll see. I don't know what's going on tonight with it's just like everybody's having a bit of a trouble with it. But the Josh 32 now switching to hards. As we said, those lockups definitely cost him at the start of the race there. Very much a shame from him to have to pit that early on the softs, as you see all the other drivers having another lap out on everybody. But that could be a good strategy for both him and James F1 ETC. It's going to be really good to see what's happening here. It's a nice camera view. coming down the inside there. We'll just jump on the TV pod as we'll actually sit on board in a lap here with Light Shock, who's now sitting in 3rd position, and we'll just see which corners he's actually excelling in. He's definitely doing very well to hold his position. You can see there Stallion very late on the brakes going into turn 3. It's very much a shame to see him run off there. He was doing so well to catch up before. You see all the tyre marks there from people locking up going round turn 4. It's quite an interesting one because turn 2 is actually in the middle of that kink coming up the hill, and a lot of people like to say, oh no, that's not a turn, but it actually in reality, because of the angle of it, is actually a turn, and they do count it, the FIA do count it as a turn. It does look like Light Shock is actually coming in for his pit stop now. Oh, and he's actually been taken out! Stallion W7 ramming him off the roads to get into position. I don't know how the stewards are going to take that. That seemed very much intentional to me. I don't know if it was just a case of netcode, but that was very much a dirty move from Stallion there to get position. See all the drivers coming into the pits, but we're jumping on board now with the Josh 32, who's now got clean air and he's running. He's going to be gaining a few positions as a few drivers jump into the pits. Stallion has already switched to the hard. It actually does seem that Stallion didn't actually pit, so he is just rammed intentionally a driver off the road. So I'm not sure how to go down for positions. He might actually be in a bad way when it comes down to that, but we'll have words. Obviously the race director will have words with him at the end of the race. But again, going back on board with the Josh 32, very smooth drive from him this time now on the hards. It's almost like he's been doing a lot of practice on them. Very interesting to see how well he does here. The James F1 ETC also running a little bit farther behind. But again, the Williams, the two Williams drivers, we can assume that they are the best drivers on the grid at the moment, as they are in the slowest car. But it would show that they are considerably better than a lot of the other drivers, unfortunately, as they are running in the top positions. But obviously as well, it doesn't necessarily mean you are the worst driver in the world, honestly. That's Raza rejoined the session now, so we'll hopefully be seeing him come back up the pits again, which is good. But a lot of the drivers now pitting, including quite a lot of the other drivers. But there we go, Botch Gerbil fighting for position, but it does look like if James F1 holds his position coming down into turn 4, he could hold off. Very close drive here. We'll just jump down the order and see if we can catch this battle a little bit more intensely. Very close driving as we see here. Botch Gerbil really fighting for that position. He almost had him on turn 3 there, which was very, very close coming down going up the hill. But there's no cars behind them, just a car in front of him, and he wants him. He's going to take him down. Hopefully on this next lap we'll see some more racing. We're just watching this battle unfold now on the broadcast cameras. He's going to have full DRS on him here coming up the straight. Going past turn 2, up into turn 3. Banging wheels coming into the corner there, but it does look like Botch Gerbil fighting for position again as James F1 ETC really pushing him down the inside. Coming up to turn 4 now, it'll be interesting to see what actually happens here. He just can't get that position on him. It is very close racing here, in between 6th and 7th. Be interesting to see how much fuel mix these guys are using. A little bit of a lock-up there from Botch Gerbil, but that's Raza after rejoining the session. He's running on those hard tyres. He's trying to go the alternate strategy, running in 8th position, just behind them, about 6 seconds behind. A little bit of a wide corner from Botch Gerbil. He'll be hopefully trying to gain a little bit of DRS down this straight, but it won't be enough to take him on the inside here. we will just hop on board with the Williams car now and we'll watch the battle unfold from behind us. Very good move here. He's going to take the inside this time. Is it going to be the old switcheroo? It's not, but he has now taken the inside line, and we've seen how powerful that inside line is. But it does look like the Williams has got just a little bit better power on the outside of corner. It's very close. We're seeing Bodge Gerbil really pushing here. He wants that position, but he's going to be at a bit of a disadvantage coming wide into turn 5 and into turn 6. Very close racing here, guys. I am on the edge of my seat. Oh, he's taking him on the outside, and that's it. James F1 gone. It does look like to be a bit of a racing incident. He's lost his front wing. Very good battle for position there, but it's just very unfortunate that he clipped him on the way by. Just a little. I can imagine there'll be some apologies. Jump on board now as Fairmotor's made his pit stop. He was running in first place for most of the race. After making his pit stop, he's only dropped down to 4th. He's been powering that Alpha Tauri for what it's worth the past little while. Very good drive from him. You see El Senado running in 11th position in the McLaren after having a fantastic debut last week. He's not having so much of a good time this week on those hard tyres, but hopefully he's been keeping those hard tyres nice and warm and just keeping them within their limits so that he can bring them almost to the end so he can switch those softs last minute. Annie running in 3rd position at this moment in time. We're just going to jump on board with him. Bit of a gap between 2nd and 1st as we see those two runners being pretty much need to jump into the pits. Jump on board again with Fairmoto. DRS off of DJ Danny, who dove into the pits to get a fresh set. But now Fairmoto running in 3rd position. You can assume that he will be taking 1st position in the next couple of laps. Just having a look down the field, it looks like Matt Watson, or M. Watson, sorry, is fighting for position. We'll just jump down the pack to see if we can jump on board with him. Very close here. The other Alpha Tauri really pushing him, and that's Ice Cream 05. Very good race here coming up the hill. Very interesting to see how this goes as both of those drivers have DRS, but it does look like the driver of Ice Cream 05 in that Alpha Tauri took the inside line coming up into turn 3. Very good driving there from both of them. M. Watson respecting his limits there in that Mercedes. Obviously the Mercedes is a really, really easy car to drive, so he's really pushing himself the limits here to gain a little bit more on him. These few drivers probably not going to be running within the top 5, but they will be very close to it anyway. Their pit strategies being pretty close together. So, he's taking a little bit of a lost one, and the Josh 32 having an incident. He was running really well for the rest of the track there. It does look like he has lost it coming into one of the corners. It'll be interesting to see whereabouts he lost it. I'll definitely get that information for you guys at the back end of the race. It does look like M. Watson going really slow into the pits. He's just respecting his limits there. Keiran 11 also retiring from the session as a DNF, and the Josh 32 has left. We're losing everybody today. It's a shame as a few drivers obviously did have an accident. We're going to go up into Fairmoto just now, just to watch the leader for a little bit and see how well he's driving. He is definitely pushing that car to its limits. That Alpha Tauri, as we know, winning and getting a podium last year. I think got 2 podiums. Not including the win for Pierre Gasly at the Monza Temple of Speed. But yeah, the Alpha Tauri definitely having a bit of an advantage when it comes to this track, obviously being a bull, so we'll see what happens. But Keiran 11 actually just seems to have just DNF'd. He has just straight up DNF'd from the session and left. So he's no longer in the race, unfortunately, which is a shame from him. He was doing pretty well. We'll see jump down the grid as there's a bit of a battle going on for third position between Botched Gerbil and IRL Mats. We'll just jump on board on the TV pod for a second and we'll just see. A bit of a lock-up again. IRL Mats has been really struggling with that corner tonight. Very struggle of a corner for everybody to master. So we'll see what happens. He's coming down. Turn 5 and into turn 6. Bit too much lock, I would say, coming into that corner, but he's holding on to that car very well, obviously running on the softs there. These are fresh softs, so he's pretty much got all the heat he needs in those tyres now to be able to get some powerful laps in. We're running 12 laps to go in this race, and it's very close so far. Very close. I know that my voice is going to be gone tomorrow from all this double talking that I'm having to do. It's very much a bit of an apology on my part, so if I do have to stop, I am so sorry. As we see, Raza 410 now diving into the pits to get his soft tyres. He has, unfortunately, I think he's mistimed that. He's maybe trying to see if he can get a position, and W7 Stallion going in as well. He's struggling again on that corner. Turn 4 being a little bit of a weak spot there for IRL Mats. He's a very, very good driver in reality, so it's to see where good drivers do make mistakes. See if we can jump on board. Botched Gerbil, who is kind of in clear air, and we're actually seeing quite a lot of the drivers being in clear air from these pit stops now, so it's going to be a bit of a boring race. But Sir Shark seems to be having a battle down here in the pits, in the Haas, the Alpha Tauri. I do actually believe that Sir Sharks is not actually racing right now, and I don't think he's actually rejoined the session, so he is unfortunately in a position where he is an AI driver against an Alpha Tauri, so we'll see what happens. He has got DRS, so it's interesting to see how fast the AI are actually really driving. You can definitely tell that's AI, unfortunately. So, but yeah, it seems like it's really the only battle we have on the grid at the moment. We're just gonna jump into broadcast mode, and we're gonna just watch one of the drivers driving around. We've got James F1 ETC there, who I think actually left as well. Either that or he's just pitted at the wrong time. Oh, actually, in fairness, he did have that incident during the middle of the race where he did get taken out by Stallion, I think it was, in a bit of a battle. I don't think it was Stallion, but he got taken out, unfortunately. Lost his front wing coming round this corners in turn 7, so a bit of a shame from him. And he is running in 12th position. The great thing about this league is that everybody gets points if you finish the race, so it just kind of encourages people to just drive a clean race. And we're having a little bit of a battle here as DJ Danny and Lightshock having a fight coming up the hill into turn 3. Oh, fantastic driving from both of them. And that's it. DJ Danny spinning, but good car control to keep it just spun round and going again. He's lost a few positions there, which is just unfortunate from him. He was doing so well up there. Turn 3 is just a bit of a nasty one to master. The same with turn 4 there as well. We'll just stay on board with him for a little bit while I run over a little bit of housekeeping. So, we are just going to have a quick talk about the other leagues that we run on certain days. So on Mondays for the Invictus weekly schedule, we have at 8 GMT we have Gareth and Sab on the PS F1 League streamed on YouTube. On PS F2 on Tuesdays we have at 8 o'clock streamed by Malc on YouTube. Very, very strong racing in the F2 League on there. On the Xbox F1 on Tuesdays as well, you can see us on here, and that was streamed by my good friends Keiran and Dom on Twitch. You'll see them live on there. PS F3 League we have on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, streamed by Hooper on YouTube. And PS F4 League on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. We have no stream at the moment, but there's highlights, and the plug is also there for us when we need to. So if you would like to see the highlights, they'll be on the YouTube channel and also on the Discord, so you can definitely catch up on there. And also on Wednesdays we have the PC F1 League, streamed by JCol and Dan on YouTube, and you catch that at 8 o'clock. And the F2 League on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, you can catch that obviously as highlights. As it is similar to the PS F4 League. And obviously you can catch us here on Thursdays for the Xbox RP League. You obviously know it is me and Dom. Unfortunately, Dom wasn't on tonight. It was meant to be somebody else and he couldn't make it, so that's a shame. And PSRP streamed at 8 o'clock, streamed by Tim and Malc on YouTube, so you can also catch them as well live on there. If you guys are in chat still, definitely feel free to drop in your predictions for the winner. I would love to hear what you guys got to say. DJ Danny actually starting to make up a bit of time now, and Jamie29X, who had that nasty spin in the first few laps of the race. So I'm just going to stay on board here as he's got DRS now. He's going to push it down into turn 4 and we'll see what actually happens here. Obviously not enough gap in them to warrant an overtake, so it was just a case of holding that car together, I feel. We have 7 laps to go in this race. It's been an absolutely fantastic race for everybody to watch, so hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Drop in the chat if you've enjoyed it, and feel free to drop me a message on Twitter. You can see me on Twitter at Andriy1 on Twitter, and you can also see the Invictus Racing League on Twitter and InvictusRL. You can see them on there. We've obviously got the Xbox and the PS leagues on there too, so feel free to jump on and follow them on Twitter. Ice Cream having an accident coming out of the corners there. It seems that he is now out of the race. He's actually crashed in the pit lane. I'm not too sure what's actually happened there. I don't know if I can get on board. No, unfortunately I can't get on board with him. But we're actually running in first position right now. We are watching. That's not him. That's Fairmoto, I do believe. It's not Fairmoto. Ice Cream, who is, yeah, we're just watching him there. He's just left the race, it seems. He's given up, unfortunately. That's a shame for him. We're just watching Stallion W7. He's had a pretty good race so far, but I do believe there's going to be some discussions in the Discord about his conduct coming round into the pit lane. I'm sure that'll be discussed, as he did actually nudge a driver off the road, so we'll see what he has to say from his side. IRL Matt's running in second position. He is actually getting a fair fight right now from Fairmoto, as we have now been alerted to his name as being Mr. Fairmoto, so that's going to be good to call him from now on. Coming down into turn 5, we can see a bit of a battle going on. Very, very strong drive for both of them. Can't stop smiling at the fact that this race has been so good. Jamie29X as well, we're having a bit of a battle down here. Sorry about the disorientation, I just want to quickly get to that. Jamie29X having a bit of a battle with DJ Danny, who actually spun out a few laps ago and has actually done very well to get back up there, so very good driving from both drivers. 5 laps to go in this race now as Stallion W7 crosses the line for the 31st time. He's going to be pushing just that little bit more to try and take those softs to the end. Those softs now will be starting to wear down a little bit too much for anybody's liking. A bit wide round the corner there for Jamie29X. He definitely lost a bit of time there. We will jump on board with Light Shock, who's actually going up the hill just now. He's had a really non-eventful race as such. He's had a few positions and he's actually done pretty well. Yeah, good drive from him all round. Now on board Botch Gerbil, the Alfa Romeo teammate, who's running in 4th position. He's quite a considerable distance from 3rd, and take quite a lot for 1st, 2nd and 3rd to be taken out now, as IRL Matt is obviously it's just position now for 2nd and 3rd, it seems. unless one of them has a bit of an incident, I can't see the order changing much there, but we can definitely see what happens at the bottom of the pack. DJ Danny now holding off Jamie 29X very well on those soft tyres. If it's just me in this chat, who doesn't love looking at an F1 car from this angle? I really do love seeing the way that the F1 car handles and hits the bumps. It's just such a fantastic way to look at things. I really do love it. But obviously Jamie 29X has no toe nor DRS at this moment in time, so he is not gaining any time. If you guys do not know what DRS is the drag reduction system. It was introduced into F1 to bring closer racing, better overtakes. So we'll definitely see how that shapes out over the next few years with the new car in 2022. I'll jump on board with Mr. Fairmoto, who's just a little bit far behind IRL Mats now. 3 laps to go in this race. It's going to be a tough one to hold on to. Very close racing. Raza now in the position to take on Jamie 29X as well in the Renault. Obviously Raza having a heartbreaker last week as his tyres blew with 3 laps to go. He was going on the hards from pretty much lap 3 onwards around Monza, and we know how good that track is to see bad tyre wear. So definitely here we've got DRS coming up here down turn 2 and turn 3. He's going to have him on the inside. Whether the switcheroo happens, we don't know. And it will happen. Fantastic move from Jamie 29X on the defence. But it does look like Raza's put on his ERS and he's just pushing just a little bit more there. He's going to have the inside line. Jamie 29X pushing him to the edge of the track. Fantastic overtake. Fantastic. Really good driving there from both the drivers. Raza 410, really trying to hold on position now. He's thrown himself off his line a little bit there after having that battle, but he's definitely going to try and throw it around these last 2 corners a little bit better than Jamie 29X. Good driving there. He's got DRS again, so it'll be interesting to see how much he gains going up into turn 2 and turn 3 here. A little bit of a corner cut there. Don't know how he's going to get away with that one, but he does. Be interesting to see where everybody finishes with all these penalties. Fairmoto's actually drove a very good race. He's not actually picked up any penalties, so he's done a very good job there. He's at least hold that position, if anything. So he's just trying to get within probably 6 seconds of IRL Mats to get a 2nd place there. Fantastic driving from all of them there. In 1st, 2nd and 3rd. Good strategies all round. Raza still trying to hold on there. A bit of back end out there. And this is the only battle we have really on track at this moment in time. AC Oakhill and Matt Watson, M. Watson having a bit of a fight at the back of the grid for 13th and 12th. But now we actually have a slow car in front of Jamie 29X, and that seems to be DJ Danny again. DJ Danny getting into the claws of Jamie 29X coming into turn 1 and turn 2. Oh, a little bit of a lost bit there for Jamie 29, who's going to have a really rough time to keep up going up this hill. He's unfortunately lost himself going there. He's put himself out of the battle at that moment. DJ Danny holding on for dear life with those soft tyres. 13 lap old now. They are on the edge of their lifespan. It's going to be up to the line for him. He is trying to hold that 6th position. He's not going to be any more than that, it seems, but it's going to be interesting to see where he finishes anyway. Raza now really on his tailpipes. He's going to really be pushing on this last lap as we see Stallion W7 start to go on his last lap of the race. See a bit of a battle going on from the broadcast cameras now. Really close racing here. Jamie 29X and El Senado actually joining in the fun. Whether he can catch up on the pickings there, I don't know how he's going to manage, but we'll see how it goes down. We're going to watch from Jamie 29X's perspective coming up the hill here, because I think he's got a good run up the hill now. We'll see how he goes. We'll go on the TV pod and we'll just see. I think he must have had a little bit of an issue, but that is Raza 410 using his fresher tyres to get past DJ Danny. Just shows you how 2 laps of a difference on those tyres really makes, especially at the top end. Obviously, Jamie29X has medium tyres on, so he should be a little bit better off than the rest of the drivers, but unfortunately his tyres are just a little bit too old to be gambling with, as that is the first 3 winners there. We've got Stallion W7 in first, Fairmoto in second, and IRL Matt in third. Good racing from all those drivers. Hello in chat, guys. If you have enjoyed this session, please make sure to follow for more action and definitely keep up with us more as the season goes on. We are on round 6 at Austria. Here is it down to the line. Oh, that was a close one, as it was a very, very close race. DJ Danny just getting in front there. Jamie29X now in 8th position just because of penalties, but that was up to the line. I can see that being posted on the end highlights. It's awesome racing from everybody. Fantastic driving. Woof! I've lost my breath. That was good racing. Even though it was a little bit quiet in the middle, coming up to the line there, fantastic driving. Driver of the day, Stallion W7. Make sure to vote on your driver of the day, guys, on our Twitter page. The poll should be up for you guys tomorrow morning, and we'll have our Xbox admin be throwing that up for you guys. And here we go. We can see Stallion W7 taking a selfie on the podium, and he gets first position. Obviously, Fairmoto in second, and IRL Matt third. Fantastic drive from you guys, and well done. We'll have an interview with these guys when the end of this race is over, and we'll get them in the party for a bit of a discussion. And there's Offmar Safnauer. Who doesn't love a bit of Aston Martin racing memes nowadays? Considering the lady didn't even know how to say her name, say his name. I love that. Okay, and we have the results. In first place we have Stallion W7. In second we have Fairmoto. In third we have IRL Mats. In fourth we have Botch Gerbil. In fifth we have Lightshock 16. In sixth we have DJ Danny. In seventh we have El Senedo. In eighth we have Jamie29X. In ninth we have Raza 410. In 10th we have James F1 ETC. In 11th we have Sir Sharks. In 12th we have AC Oakhill 04. In 13th we have M Watson 42 and a bunch of numbers. And in 14th we have Ice Cream 05. I'm just going to make sure we've got a few more drivers. We have the Josh 32, Keiran 11, and Kingly Diagram. Oh, I have unfortunately left the session. That's not too good. That's my fault. I double clicked. So hopefully I can get back in to get the guys in for an interview. I will first start by inviting Fairmoto into the party, because I have him. So I'll have him in here. And I've got IRL Mats, and I also have Raza, I need Stallion W7. So, view gamer card. Remember, guys, to allow your audio to be included in the broadcast. If I could get the third place driver on the grid first, just make sure you guys have included your broadcast audio, and get yourself sorted out. We're still waiting for one more, so we'll wait. Oh, does he not? So are we not going to get an interview from him? No. Oh well. Okay then. So we'll start with the third place driver, IRL Mats. How do you think your race went from your point of view? Yeah, definitely. I think from my point of view, watching you guys race there, it was a very commanding podium from all of you, but especially from you, IRL Mats, in that McLaren. How comfortable did you feel in the car driving round? Definitely. I think a lot of the drivers were on the gamble there with the softs at the start, and I think for a few it did wear off after a wee while. So it's definitely good to see that some drivers made it up. One last question for you, IRL Mats. Have you got any idea how fast you were driving that car round turn 7? Because you were really taking the corners quite tight there. It was very good car control. You were definitely gaining a lot of time there, man. Excellent. Thank you very much, and congratulations on your podium. Right, so we've got our second place runner, Fairmoto. How do you think your race went from your point of view? Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate in the commentary box to see that happen, and you were had a very commanding lead from pretty much 3/4 of that race. But Stallion actually did come through and done a very blinding drive. I do believe he had a bit of an incident in the middle of the race. I don't know how that's going to be viewed. If that was the right driver or not, but it was a pink racing point. So I don't know if that's going to be discussed by the stewards at the end. But as far as I'm concerned, I think you done a very, very good race, and your lap times really showed it as well. You were pretty much hot lapping that whole time, so very well done to you. Right, I'm just gonna take it that Stallion, obviously he has no mic. We might get a statement from him on Discord to to say about his race, and we can get that sorted. But anyway, thank you guys, and good race. Oh, just to let you guys, it's all right, man. I'm just having a quick look. It was, yeah, I do believe actually it was Stallion that had a bit of an incident in the middle of the race, but yeah, that'll be discussed later. But yeah, guys, I think that was a really, really good race from all of you, and I think from all of us in the commentary box, including myself, we can say that it was a very, very good race. So thank you for giving us all that.
No problem. Thank you.
Right, guys, I'm gonna start wrapping up the stream now. If anybody has any questions about how they could potentially join the IRL League, definitely feel free to follow our Twitters at the Twitter handle Invictus Racing RL on Twitter, and also follow the accomplishing Twitter channels with the Xbox, PS, and PC tags to them. Also, if you guys want to follow any more of the action, feel free to follow the Twitch channel and also have a look at us on YouTube at Invictus Racing League. And if you have any anything to say to any of the drivers, feel free to throw it in the chat, and we will definitely see it later. But without further ado, just gonna run last bit down on the racing leagues for this week. We've got on Mondays we have the PS F1 League on YouTube with Gareth and Sab, and on Tuesdays we have the PS F2 League at 8 o'clock, streamed by Malc on YouTube. On Tuesdays as well, we also have my good friends Keiran and Dom presenting the Xbox F1 League at 8 o'clock on this very channel on Twitch. On Wednesdays, we have the PS F3 League at 8 o'clock, streamed by Hooper on YouTube. And we also have on Wednesdays as well, we have the PC F1 League on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock, streamed by JCol and Dan on YouTube. So feel free to join in for that as well. And obviously, you can see me on here every Thursday at 8 o'clock, streamed by myself and hopefully somebody else for next week. And also on YouTube you can catch the PSRP League at the same time. Anyway, that has been the 6th round of the Xbox RP League by IRL Racing, or Invictus Racing League. Thank you guys for tuning in today, and we will hopefully see you guys next week for, I do believe it